7th of May, 1823. Rose at 6:15. Wrote a French exercise. Went out up to the city. Returned home at 3:30. Busy in the counting house. Tea'd. Went up to dress in consequence of my having a ticket for the Lord Mayor's ball, which I intended to honor with my presence. Went with Hart and Elias at 10:00. Had the pleasure of seeing my lord and my lady, and several persons of distinction. The sight altogether was very imposing. The ladies were dressed extremely gay, in imitation of her ladyship. Several gentlemen were in their uniforms. Retired to the refreshment room. At 2:00 there a scene of mad confusion took place. Gentlemen scrambling, waiters bawling, committee-men haranguing, glasses breaking, ices flowing, cakes smashing on the ground, and everything except order flowed, which baffles all description, although this ball was select, and less numbers of persons attended than had been known for some time. With great difficulty I procured an ice. I encountered many opponents, all of which I defeated, and brought my glass of ice off in triumph along a range of tables, to the great satisfaction of a young lady, Hart, and myself. But in the midst of our joy, we were awakened by a "How shall we eat it?" For verily we had no spoon. As necessity is the mother of invention, we soon tried what a saucer placed between our thumb and forefinger, and that dipped in the glass could effect. But the room was too warm, and our substitute failed, when luckily I espied a gentleman with a glass in one hand and a spoon in the other, the latter of which I was successful in procuring. The next was the ballroom. After dancing 3 or 4 quadrilles, and a country dance was called, there not being enough ladies sufficient, that would dance, the young men formed one by ourselves. I led it off and went down it very well, when the committee men came and would not allow it, as we made a great deal of noise and attracted a great crowd by the novelty. Here a great confusion ensued, the music left off, but the young men would not. At last we satisfied ourselves by calling out for "God save the King, God save the Lord Mayor," till at last the committee men put out the lights. At last, though not least, was the hat room, which is the justice room here. There was, on a moderate calculation, about 1,200 hats, and no one could find their own. I and Hart with great difficulty found ours, but Elias was obliged to go away without his, although I seated myself in the civic chair and threatened to commit them, ladies and gentlemen, hat and all, if they did not give it up, but all to no purpose. At about 3:45 we left the mansion house, came home, had supper, and went to bed at 4:30.